While I was in the hospital, my wife was cheating on me with my brother. They spent my money on expensive restaurants and trips. But when I got out of the hospital, I made them regret it. For 4 days I was dead to the world. At least that's how it felt. One moment I was driving home, tired but happy, with a bouquet of Jesse's favorite lilies in the passenger seat. The next moment I woke up in a hospital bed, my body broken, my mind a mess, and no memory of how I got there. A doctor stood beside me and looked at me as if I were a miracle. He told me that I had been in a serious accident. A van had jumped into the road and hit my car. I barely survived. He hesitated before adding that I may not be able to walk normally. My spine was damaged and the recovery will be long if it happens at all. The first thing I asked was not about my injuries or what had happened. It was about Jessie. Was she here? Did she come to see me? The doctor nodded. Yes, she was here. With my brother Tom. Relief washed over me. Of course she was here. Of course Tom was with her. He had always been there for me. I asked to see her. The doctor smiled and said he would call her right away. I lay there imagining Jessie running into the room, her eyes filled with tears, kissing me, telling me how scared she was. I waited. And I waited. An hour passed. Then 2. I called the doctor again. He looked confused. He said he had informed her. She said she would come. But she didn't. The next day I kept telling myself that she must be busy. Maybe something had happened, maybe she was on her way. Another day passed. Then another. No phone calls. No visits. Just silence. Then Jessie's sister Anna showed up. She came in looking nervous and I immediately bombarded her with questions. Where was Jessie? Why didn't she come? Was she okay? Anna hesitated. Then she said something that made my stomach drop. I don't know how to say this, but when I got to your house, the door was open. And I saw Jessie. With Tom. They looked really happy. I stared at her, not understanding. She looked at the floor. I think she's cheating on you. I felt like I had been hit by another truck. It didn't make any sense. Jessie and Tom? No, she loved me. Tom was my brother. Anna swallowed hard. There's more. They used your money. Fancy restaurants, travel. They lived large while you were out here fighting for your life. I couldn't speak. My whole world came crashing down at that moment. Jessie, the woman I loved, the woman I was ready to spend my life with, betrayed me. Tom, my own brother, the person I trusted the most, stabbed me in the back. And they didn't even bother to check if I was alive. That's when I made my decision. They would regret it. The days that followed were the hardest of my life. Not because of the pain I could handle that. Not even because of the fear that I would never be able to walk normally again. It was the betrayal that ate me up. I kept going over everything in my head, looking for signs that I had missed. The late nights Jessie spent hanging out with friends. The way Tom brushed off my calls saying he was busy. The way she stopped being affectionate, the way she always seemed distracted. Was it all happening right in front of me and was I too blind to see it? A week passed, but nothing came. Not a single phone call, not a single message. Nothing at all. If it wasn't for Anna, I would have gone crazy. She came every day, brought food, helped me move around. The doctors were amazed at my progress. I was standing, even taking a few shaky steps. They said it was a miracle, but I knew what was driving me. It wasn't just determination. It was anger. At the end of the second week I was released. Anna came to get me. As we pulled up to my house, my home, I hesitated. Part of me expected Jessie to run out, cry, apologize, say it was all a mistake. But of course she wasn't there. I walked in, my legs weak but steady. This place seemed different. Cold. Like a house but not a home. Jessie's things were still there, but the warmth was gone. I checked my bank accounts. My stomach turned. Thousands were gone. Transactions for 5-star hotels, expensive restaurants, shopping sprees. All while I lay in a hospital bed fighting for my life. I clenched my fists. Did they think they could do this to me and walk away? No, not a chance. First, I blocked Jessie's cards. Every single one of them. If she needed money, she would have to get it from Tom. We'll see what happens. Then I called my realtor. The house was for sale. I didn't care if I had to sell it quickly and lose some money, I just wanted it gone. The moment the house was listed for sale, Jessie finally called. After 2 weeks of silence, not a single message asking if I was okay, her first words were, "Are you out of the hospital? Why are you selling our house?" I laughed. I really laughed. Our house. Not anymore. I told her she would be left with nothing. No house, no money. If she wanted stability, she could count on Tom. She started to cry, swearing that none of this was true, that people were lying to me, that she loved me, that Tom was only helping her while I was in the hospital. But I had heard enough lies. I hung up the phone. And just like that, Jesse and Tom's easy, luxurious life was shattered. It didn't take long to sell the house. I was willing to lower the price just to get rid of it. I wanted to start over where Jesse and Tom had never been. Within 2 weeks the house was sold. The money went into a new account that they could not access. The same day the sale was finalized, I got another call from Jessie. This time she wasn't crying. She was furious. "You sold the house. Where are we going to live?" As if we were still a team. Like she wasn't sleeping with my brother behind my back. "Ask Tom," I said. "He seemed to find out when I was in the hospital." She started berating me, saying I was petty and vindictive. That I was ruining her life over something that wasn't even true. I could hear Tom yelling in the background, but I wasn't in the mood to listen. I hung up the phone. After that, Anna and I moved to a small but nice apartment across town. She was my support through it all. She always checked on me, made sure I ate, helped me with physiotherapy. And she never asked for anything in return. Meanwhile, Jesse and Tom were falling apart. With no home and no access to my money, the reality of their situation quickly set in. Tom never had a real job. He lived off side jobs and my generosity. Jessie had never worked a day in her life. She was used to being pampered. Suddenly they were penniless, bouncing from motel to motel, using up whatever credit they had left. Then one night she received a text message from an unknown number. "Please. I have nowhere to go. I made a mistake. Can we talk? Jessie." I looked at the message for a long time. Then I turned off my phone and went to bed. Jessie's message didn't surprise me. I was expecting it. People like her always crawl back when things go bad. But I was not the man she was cheating on. I wasn't stupid enough to fall for it. The next day I told Anna about the note. She shook her head. "She's only reaching out because she needs something. Not because she's sorry." She was right. But I wanted to see how desperate Jessie had become. So I answered, "Where's Tom?" She answered almost immediately, "I don't know. He left. He took the little money we had and left." I laughed. I should have seen it coming. Tom could never handle responsibility. As soon as it got tough, he ran away. And now Jessie, who had given up everything for him, was alone. She sent another message. "I have nothing. I just need a place to stay for a few days. Could you please take me in? For a few days?" I knew how this would go. She'd show up with sad eyes, pretend to be sorry, and then slowly try to work her way back into my life. I wasn't buying it. Not my problem. It was the last thing I sent her. Days passed. Then weeks. Through mutual friends, I found out that Jessie was bouncing around from guy to guy, trying to find someone to take care of her. Tom, on the other hand, had gotten into some shady business and was last seen on a friend's couch, drinking himself into oblivion. Meanwhile, my life was better than ever. I was walking again. It still hurt a little, but nothing I couldn't handle. I had a new home, a new start. And Anna, what started as a friendship grew into something more. Jessie and Tom were destroying themselves. And they had no one to blame but each other. A month passed and I didn't hear from Jessie again. At least not directly. But I knew she was still around, barely hanging on. One night Anna and I were having dinner when our mutual friend Mark walked in. He sat down and shook his head. "You're not going to believe who I met today." I already knew. "Jessie?" Mark nodded. "She looks bad, man. Real bad. I saw her outside the liquor store arguing with some guy. She asked me to lend her some money, said she just needed a little help." I smiled. Jessie had never known struggle. She had spent her whole life depending on others, using people. Now there was no one left to save her. Mark leaned forward. "You're not going to believe this part. She told me she misses you. That she realizes she made a mistake and wants to make it up to you." Anna scoffed. "Of course she does. She thought the grass was greener. And now she's stuck in the mud." Mark sighed. "She even asked me to talk to you. She said maybe if you saw her in person you'd remember how much you loved her." I almost laughed. Loved her? The woman who left me for my own brother while I lay in a hospital bed? Who spent my money on vacations with him while I struggled to walk again? That love died the moment I realized who she really was. I shook my head. She made her bed. Now she can lie in it. That night as I lay in bed, I thought about how much things had changed. Jessie and Tom had betrayed me because they thought they had won. That I was broken without them. But in the end, I was the one who came out stronger. And they lost everything. And you know what's interesting? I didn't have to lift a finger. They destroyed themselves. A few more weeks went by, and I almost forgot about Jessie until she showed up. It was late, almost midnight, when Anna and I heard a loud knock at the door. I knew it was her. I knew it even before I looked through the peephole. Jessie was standing there, shivering with cold. Her hair was disheveled, her clothes were rumpled, and her eyes were vacant. She looked nothing like the woman I once loved. I didn't say anything. I just stared. She bit her lip. "Can we talk?" Anna appeared behind me. "There's nothing to talk about." Jesse's eyes flickered between us. I don't have anywhere else to go." Her voice cracked. "Tom's gone. I don't have any money. No one will help me." I leaned against the doorframe. "Do you expect sympathy?" She took a step forward and lowered her voice. "I was stupid. I made a mistake. I know that now." Tears welled in her eyes. "Please, just give me a chance to explain." Anna crossed her arms. "Explain what? That you betrayed him? That you stole from him? That you ran off with his own brother while he was in the hospital?" Jesse turned to me. "I don't love him. I never did. I was scared, I was lonely, and I held up a hand. "Stop." She froze. I exhaled slowly, feeling nothing but exhaustion. "You weren't scared. You weren't alone. You were selfish. You thought Tom could give you a better life. And when it all fell apart, you realized how badly you had messed up." Her face blurred into tears. "I miss you." I didn't even flinch. "I don't." Jessie started to sob. Right there on my doorstep. But I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just indifference. She was not the woman I once loved. She was just a stranger who had made a terrible choice and was paying for it. Anna spoke for both of us. "Find someone else." And with those words, I slammed the door in her face. It was the last time I saw Jessie. I don't know where she went after that, and frankly, I didn't care. She had burned all her bridges, used up all her affections, and in the end she had nothing left. Tom's situation was no better. A few months later, I heard that he had been arrested for petty theft. He had started stealing from the very friends who once let him sleep on their couches. No one bailed him out. And me? My life had never been better. I had a fresh start, my health was improving, and most importantly, I had Anna. What started with her just taking care of me turned into something real. Something real. She was completely different from her sister. Where Jessie was selfish, Anna was selfless. Where Jessie took, Anna gave. And what's most interesting? She didn't love me for what I had. She loved me for who I was. One night, as we sat on the balcony of our new home, she asked me, "Do you have any regrets?" I thought for a moment and shook my head. No, because in the end I won. I didn't just survive, I grew stronger. And Jessie and Tom? They destroyed themselves. I took a sip and smiled. Best thing that ever happened to me.